Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin. Big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now Bitcoin's rolling, obviously. It's coming down. Where's its support? I've given you the support last month that we put in. But one thing we do need to see right now is Bitcoin hold this support. So I'm just going to go through this little theory I've got today with you on Bitcoin and what I think's happening. As a potential play, absolutely zero guarantees. But if it does play out, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And we've nailed the bottom. So I know everybody, all over the comments, all over Twitter, all over YouTube, is expecting Bitcoin to lose this low. Okay, you're going to retrace and lose this low, and you've got support targets straight away. I've given you one, haven't I, a few weeks ago. It's simply, if look at that there, look at that wick low just there, that swing low just there that you're putting in 2020 was where you found support. And full transparency here, I never found that low because I wasn't looking at price action as this was coming down. I did anticipate this capitulation event here for Bitcoin, and again, capitulation can never really be identified until after the event. So potentially what I'm trying to say to you, Bitcoin builds a base, starts to come up, you say, oh yeah, that's where it did capitulate, as it has capitulated before in previous corrections for Bitcoin. But again, zero guarantees. For those of you that are new to the channel, the reason I predicted that event right there and that low being put in June and that whopping candle was a few indicators here. The Bitcoin super cycle gave us a cycle low because of the cross there, the EMA cross, the moving averages crosses basically. So that was a big tick. And then equally, we've got the Gaussian channel on the weekly time frame. Just there, you've got the 20 piercing the lower channel. Whenever it's done that, it's always been the bottom. Equally, what we've got is the 100 moving average just there. I drop this moving average, 100 moving average, and the 20 crossing that. Whenever it's crossed it, which it did that week, the week after, we capitulate. So in time you could say, okay, well, look at that big massive capitulation candle there, retraced, filled, and then broke out basically for Bitcoin. So that's why I'm saying that, absolute zero guarantees could have been your bottom last month. Okay, so what we do need to see going forward is that hold. Okay, and like I said to you, when bottoms are formed, people get even more bearish, thinking you're going to lose that bottom and go even lower. And that's exactly what we've got. The mindset of the people right now are calling for lower prices. Even I'm starting to look at it and think, you know what, we're going to go lower. But one thing, obviously it's really easy to look at this and say we're going to go lower, isn't it? Just like it's really easy to look at that and say we're going to go higher, but things slow down, trend direction comes to an end basically. That's what I'm trying to say to you. So right now, what I think we're going through, and this is a theory right now, this is a theory, obviously there's absolute zero guarantees, but I'm trying to find as much confluence to this being the bottom as I can for you. Okay, and obviously there's zero guarantees. I've shown you numerous times that if you do start to lose this low that we put in June, okay, if we lose that low, your next level support, without guessing or Fibonacci or anything like that, for me is that swing low just there. So let me drop that in for you just there, just to cover my ass, just in case this theory doesn't play out and we've not nailed the bottom here. I've got to cover my ass, haven't I? So that's your low. That's where I think you'll see a big bounce for Bitcoin. If you was to sort of roll and sweep this low and we invalidate this data and this theory that I'm looking at this theory right now. I'm going to go through this with you for Bitcoin, that if we lose that's your low. Will it get there? I can't say with a certainty, because one thing I'm looking at right now is, and I don't see anybody looking at this, I've told you many times that this is a correction, okay, not necessarily a bear market. It feels horrible, people will laugh at me and point fingers and say I'm an idiot and things like that, and I'm a bull tard or whatever, I don't know, but it's just price action. For what I'm looking at right now, I think that you've been in a massive correction here for crypto since last year here. Okay, this was the actual top, and what you did, you put in an A, you put in a B, and this is a C, and I think potentially there's a chance that is your low in right now. Okay, obviously for Bitcoin, it's too easy here for me to tell you that you're going to keep doing that. That's the easy part. Anyone can say that. I'm trying to find any reason why Bitcoin could have potentially bombed out right there. And there's things that tell me you have, okay, like I've just shown you in the video just there, okay. So if this low holds, and I'm correct, we nailed the week with absolutely pinpoint precision here, not necessarily the price action, but the week, the timeline. And obviously, if I'd have been looking at the charts there, looking to the left, instead of getting caught up with what was going on here, I should have looked to the left and seen that was your swing low, pretty much like I identified last year when you were getting overextended and creating a whopping rising wedge. And I said to you, you're going to break resistance, support, you turn it into resistance, and you're going to come down. And I gave you that swing low target just there, which is where Bitcoin bounced. Look at that. That's what I said to you. That specific target there, Bitcoin bounced. It was on all the thumbnails last year, and at that point I was getting trolls again, but you was overextended to the upside, looking for support for the continuation of the trend, which you got. And at this point you start to come back up. Fantastic. At this point I said to you, look, you're overextended, you've got to come in for support. You did, you lost it, you consolidated, boom. that's it. You're coming for a deeper correction than anticipated because you've lost this low. So right now you're coming down and you've got a whopping correction coming in your hands, basically. Now, one thing we've not seen here in the traditional bear market, you do see big impulsive moves to the upside. Okay, big massive monster retracements. For me, we've not got that. So for me, I still think, I know you're going to laugh at me and everything like that, but I think this is a massive correction, okay, which is going to lowball out. You're going to start to do something like this and everyone's going to be scratching their heads like, what's going on? Because it's just a massive monster correction that Bitcoin's been in since last year. Because I think what you've got is some kind of irregular or kind of expanded flat correction where you've got an A leg, B leg and C leg. So is there anything going on right now for Bitcoin that's telling me that you're doing something similar, or you basically the lows in? So obviously I hope it is for everybody involved going forward, because if it is, I'm going to be showing you all your resistance points, all your 1618s on all your coins. And right now it could be absolute generational opportunity leading into 2023, because another theory I've got is that you're in a massive cycle here for Bitcoin. It's not hopium, it's just price action. That you've got some kind of 1, 2, there's a 3, there's a 4, and you've got this big 5, fifth wave coming potentially, okay, for Bitcoin. Again, no guarantees, but what I think you've gone through as well is 1 year impulse, 1 year correction, 1 year impulse, 1 year correction. Okay, so it's lasting year to year. So year impulse, year correction, year impulse, year correction. And right now we're missing this sort of year impulse, which I think it will start to happen round about here, and we start to come back up, okay, leading into next year. And then you could say, well, the halvenings here, your halvenings and all that crap, your multi-year bear bull like that is gone. It's out the window. This is a theory, like I said to you, everything's a theory, isn't it? And this is just me reading the chart. So one thing we've got is overextension here. We're too far away from a 20. We've not back tested it since April, so we're really overextended. So I would say at this point, if I was looking at this, if you was on the way up like that, I would say to you, don't buy that. You're buying big green candles effectively. If they will be green if we're going up, you're going to get big red dildos. You're going to get shafted here because you're overextended. Coupled with the RSI being completely overbought is the same as being completely sold. Sorry, down here, oversold. Anything under 30 is oversold. Anything over 70 is overbought, basically. So at this point, I would say to you, you're really overbought. You're creating bearish divergences as well. Get the hell out, basically. And that's what I was saying last year. But anyway, it is what it is. So right now you are oversold. You are not necessarily creating a bullish divergence there, but you are oversold. You're hanging around here and you're basically taking off into space from the EMAs. So one thing you've not done is backtest these EMAs. So that's something I do want to see. So anyway, enough spiel. I'm going to show you my theory and what I think we're looking at right now for Bitcoin. So again, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, okay? Nothing's financial advice. Everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only, okay? So my theory is you're going to get some kind of spring over the next couple of weeks here. You're not going to lose this low, okay? And this was the low that we put in. So, like I've gone through with you earlier in the video here, reasons why I do depict that was a low is obviously this as well. We've got this scenario last year. We came down this A leg, and I do anticipate this is some kind of B leg. So with that, I think obviously what we've done here, we've got a May low, okay, and then we've got the June low just there. Now if you look at this, we've got this A low rally into resistance, and then we've got the June low. So right now it's the time frame's ridiculous. It's so uncanny because we've got the May low, we've got the June low. We rallied into resistance, and then we came back down. We traced in a higher low in July, and that's exactly what we've done. We rallied into resistance, and we're coming back, and we're tracing to this low in July, like we did last year. And I did anticipate this. I said a few weeks ago, potentially we might rally into resistance and roll back to this low. As long as we can hold it, we'll get some kind of spring here back into these EMAs, which is something we've not done. So it's at this point, if Bitcoin starts to come back and breaks out and gets back above the EMAs, simply wait for that, okay? Wait for this scenario to play out, because if it does, whenever historically Bitcoin's done that, after capitulation, after falling out the weekly Gaussian, after falling out the 5-day Gaussian, it's a really bullish statement from Bitcoin, okay? So if you don't necessarily want to catch a falling knife or time the bottom like I'm trying to, then that could be the scenario that plays out, that, it could be an entry point for you. But what's happened before doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen again. But there's a lot of things lining up here. We've got this weird sort of scenario where we've got that May low, June lower low, June lower low. We traced in July higher low. Potentially we tracing sometime this month, over the next couple of weeks, potentially this week or next, we tracing, getting a bit boring, getting a bit flat, getting a bit sluggish. And I remember all of this here as well, as we were tracing, and people calling for lower prices than this, the target that gave you, okay? So if Bitcoin retraces and holds this low and starts to do this, you could say your C leg's in, just like your A leg was in. and that's it. Your ABC's in, and I'm right. You've got this massive impulse move coming leading into 2023. So anyway, that's just a theory. Everything I say is theory. Okay, there's absolutely zero guarantees, and obviously to invalidate this sort of play right now, we've got to lose this low, haven't we? That we put in June last month. So I will zoom in tomorrow with you. Okay, take care, everyone. Thank you for support. Please smash the like button on the way out. Bye bye.